What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we are back using the base Calyrex team built by Andy VGC. We had a lot of fun with it last time, and I'm really hoping to continue that success today. Also, before we hop into it, please make sure to subscribe. We are working our way towards 1 billion subscribers, and we really can't get there without you. So looking at my opponent's first team, it is Lunala Zygarde. It is Lunala, Thundurus, Umbreon, Ferrothorn, a Ryulu, and Zygarde. So there's a lot of really sort of scary things here. I think the double Intimidate is going to be really big. It's just a question of how do we really sort of maneuver that, because we also do have to worry about Thundurus. So I think I want Zacian. I don't really see a use for Calyrex here. Actually, let's bring Calyrex. I think Gyarados and Incineroar in the back. We do we need both? What does Gyarados know? Gyarados doesn't know a dark move. I'm gonna bring Gastrodon. I think just because of the fact that there is that Thundurus, I do want to have sort of a better answer into it, and I think that that's gonna come in the form of Gastrodon, as opposed to the Incineroar, where we already do have a second form of Intimidate. So playing a little bit interestingly here. Let's kind of see how things work out, as we are going to see the Umbreon and the Ferrothorn come out. So this is totally fine with me, as right, we can bring out Calyrex. We do have that ability just to immediately go for a Leech Seed onto this Umbreon, and then start putting on pressure immediately with Zacian onto the Ferrothorn. So we can luckily go for a Sacred Sword here, as well as a Leech Seed onto this Umbreon, just with the idea of saying, hey, we can start chipping away at your health. I know that you are obviously going to take it very well, but that's fine. We do a very solid chunk into the Ferrothorn, so that's actually really good to see, as Leech Seed unfortunately is going to miss the Umbreon, as we will see the foul play come out into the Calyrex, right? Sometimes it's important to fear the unknown, as Gyro Ball going to come out into Zacian. Zacian is going to be able to take that and finish off at a nice amount of health. So I think we are safe to go for another Sacred Sword into this Ferrothorn, as well as let's go for a Pollen Puff onto the Zacian, just trying to heal it up a little bit, right? We know that we have more we are going to move faster than that Umbreon, so being able to recover up before they can hit us is going to be really important, right? So Pollen Puff here really coming in clutch, right? Saying that, hey, your Umbreon is not going to be able to KO me this time, and Zacian is going to go pretty much back to full, as yep, we are going to see the very obvious, oh wow, that is a big sort of chunk of damage into Zacian. But I think at this point, right, we can sort of rinse and repeat, go for the big Sacred Sword here, as well as go for a Pollen Puff onto the Zacian, really trying to set us up for good success, right? We could see a potential switch out into something like a Zygarde or a Lunala. I mean, I feel like Lunala, if you have it, definitely would be a good time to bring it out. And then we do have the ability, if needed, to switch out the Zacian. So one thing that I'm not really used to that we are seeing is no bulk Zacian. I'm used to running pretty bulky Zacian, so seeing just how much that foul play is doing is is a little bit of a fun surprise. So Andy said not to play super aggressively with this team, and I'm really trying to slow things down, as we are going to be able to connect that Sacred Sword, right? Pick up a nice sort of knockout here, and then after the recovery, we will be about roughly where we were. So less than ideal for sure, but also not the end of the world, right? As we do have the ability to pivot out into something else. So yeah, we are going to see that foul play come out once again into the Calyrex this time. I think correctly identifying the fact that, hey, we are just going to keep healing up if you're going to keep doing this. So I think smart of them to go for that, as the question now is, what do you bring out? I think there's a chance we do see a Lunala or a Zygarde as well. Zygarde I'm fine with, right, due to the fact that we do have the ability with Gyarados to just start cycling out some Intimidates, as we are going to see Lunala. So Lunala is fine with me. I do want to go for a Play Rough onto this Umbreon, as well as a Leech Seed onto the Lunala, just with the idea that if we are able to connect this Leech Seed, we will be able to break that Shadow Shield. Unfortunately, we are not going to get the KO with what's it called? With the play rough, which is unfortunate, as foul play is going to come out onto this Calyrex. Calyrex is going to get knocked out, which is totally fine with me, as we should see a Trick Room come out here. As yeah, we are going to see that Trick Room come out. So this is fine with me, right? We do have Gastrodon. Gastrodon is going to be able to probably be a good max option at this point, right? Being able to just go for a max Quake onto this Umbreon to knock it out before it can heal, and also help Zacian sort of sponge some of these hits. So I'm fine to go for a Behemoth Blade onto this Lunala, as well as, like I said, a max Quake right here. Just get the knockout onto this Umbreon, make it into what's it called, a 2v3, and then we do have the ability to start cycling out the Gyarados and using sort of that Intimidate to really sort of weaken the probably what I'm expecting to be Zygarde in the back, as yeah, I think Intimidate cycling with it locked in is going to be really sort of important in this case. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate for sure that we weren't able to pick up that knockout with the play rough. I think I would have played that turn just a little bit differently. I would have gone for a double up into the Umbreon, but obviously hindsight is 2020. So we will be able to luckily get that max Quake off into the Umbreon, just sort of picking up some big damage there, as we should probably see a Moongeist Beam come out from this Lunala coming out into the Zacian, which is fine with me, right? Like, oh, we are going to see just a straight Meteor Beam. So I think just immediately going for that +1, I think is going to be really important here. And so what we can do actually after is just go for the Max Quake the subsequent turn, and really try and leave their, what's it called, their Zygarde alone, as Zacian going to take pretty much nothing from that Meteor Beam. But what is important though is the fact that this Lunala is now getting up there in terms of boost, right? It is going to be at +1, which is always a little bit scary, as we will be able to break that Shadow Shield into a pretty large chunk. So that's always nice. And we also do have that Leech Seed recovery from the Zygarde. So at this, I mean from the Calyrex. So at this point, that's going to stay, right? Your Lunala is losing health every turn, as Zygarde is going to come out here. I'm fine to pivot into Gyarados to get that Intimidate, and then just go for a max guard or a max Quake once again into this Lunala. My thought process here is we want to set it up so in the end game we can be out of Trick Room, we can yawn into the Zygarde. So even if it wants to transform into its big form, right, like we can put it to sleep before it can do anything. As we are going to see a max here, I do expect probably a Lunala, I'm guessing because of the +1, but I could see an argument for Zygarde. So I think both are yes, we are going to see Zygarde here. Zygarde, I think, is totally fine in my book that it wants to max, because, right, it's probably just going to be a Quake, and if we do see a Quake into Zacian, right, like that's not really going to do anything, as yeah, this max Quake going to come out here onto this Lunala. Luckily, yeah, it is going to be enough for the knockout. And so at this point, the big question really is, how do we want to cycle out this Gyarados? Because I do want to try and get out another. Oh, you lived. I thought you got knocked out. Okay, so that's a little bit unfortunate, as Gyarados is going to have to take this Moongeist Beam. It is at plus, that's a critical hit. That makes a really big difference. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Gyarados is going to be able to dodge the max Quake, so that's always really good. I don't really want to risk triggering a weakness policy. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go for a Waterfall, just for some neutral damage, as well as another max Quake, just with the idea that I want to try and yawn into this Zygarde. And at -1, right, like you're not really going to be doing a ton of damage, as yeah, we are more importantly not going to put you in range of what's it called, put you in range of transforming. So that's going to be really good for us, just like trying to oh, not what I originally intended. I forget how Storm Drain works, but right, like that is going to be a nice benefit. We are going to, like I said, like, look at how little damage this Zygarde is doing. And so now at this point, right, we can go for a Yawn and really just start boosting up Gastrodon. So I'm fine to click Waterfall again, as well as go for the Yawn into the Zygarde, right? Like, we are going to take a decent amount of chip. So we can go for the Yawn here, get powered up once again to say, hey, after your max, right, like, we're going to be able to pick up the knockout. We do have to worry about the Quake boost, but that's fine with me. As this Quake going to come out, I'm hoping it doesn't do too much. Right, into Gastrodon. Gastrodon is going to take that fairly well. We still do have the Citrus Berry. So what I want to do now is I'm going to actually bring out Zacian again and go for a Protect here, just trying to make it so we can, what's it called? I'm going to go for a Waterfall again, as well as a Protect with Gastrodon, just with the idea, right? Like, I want you to get the KO onto my, what's it called? Onto my, oh, your Coil. Okay. Coil is really bad. Coil is fine. We can switch into Zacian. Okay, perfect. So Gastrodon is going to, oh wait, because it goes into the Protect. You're going to fall asleep here. I'm going to bring out Zacian for your guaranteed sleep turn, right? We can switch into Zacian here. We are now at +2. +2, I think. +2 or +3. So we are going to be able to do quite a bit to this Zygarde with this Ice Beam. And I think between a Behemoth, hopefully between a Behemoth Blade and the Ice Beam that we're guaranteed this turn, that is going to be enough. Right, like we know that Zygarde has to stay asleep this turn, as we are going to be able to fire off a really big Ice Beam, right? This should hopefully, or we're just going to get the knockout. So overall, I think a really solid first battle. I think that synergy, I don't know if that synergy was originally planned, and it looks like, yeah, we are going to get a disconnect, because when it comes down to it, who really wants to lose to base Calyrex? So overall, a really solid first battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Zacian Kyogre, so a very, very serious team. It is Zacian Kyogre, Tornadus with Kartana, Landorus, and Shedinja. So what? I like Gastrodon. I like Gyarados. I think Gyarados is really strong here. Gyarados Regieleki feels good. Zacian and then Calyrex to bring it, right? I think we need Calyrex as a way to hit Shedinja, so that's fine. I'm going to go with this. I think this is kind of our best option into things. Gyarados having Intimidate, I think, is really huge. I think that there are ways that my opponent can take advantage of it, but, like, we'll kind of see. I think, though, that Gyarados is a very strong max option. We just might need to pivot it out a little bit to make it kind of do what we need it to do, as we are going to see Kyogre Tornadus, which is fine with me, right? We do have the ability just to go for that max Overgrowth into Ogre turn 1, and go for a Protect with Regieleki. We do have to work. Okay, so I'm actually going to. I know Andy said not to play aggressively, but I'm going to play aggressively. My only fear, right, is if this is max Lightning Ogre. Right, I would much rather take the KO onto Kyogre by KOing it with Regieleki. So basically what I'm saying is I'm fine to play aggressive this turn, because I want to get a knockout onto this Kyogre, and in the event that they go for a max Lightning, right, I don't want to necessarily lose something immediately. So I might unfortunately lose a Lecky, which it looks like I am. Yeah, but I mean, what we're gonna trade a restricted for Regieleki, which is totally fine with me, right? Okay, or we don't even trade. That was not supposed to happen. That's really bad. I'm going to bring out Calyrex here. Calyrex has access to Trick Room, and I think we have to pivot out into a Trick Room mode. I want to go for a Rockfall on a Torn. Go for a Protect this turn, right? Because I expect the Torn to go for a Hurricane into my what's it called, into my Calyrex. So I need to basically set up a way for me to set up Trick Room properly. And so I think this is going to be it. So going for that Protect. As we're going to see a Leer. So not what I was expecting. I know that some Torns are carrying it, and I think that that's going to put me in a bad position as, yeah, we are going to, what's it called? Be able to luckily survive, quote unquote, the incoming attack as we will. Fire off this Rockfall. I think we do get the straight knockout. It is going to be Focus Sash, but because of the sand, we are going to be able to pick up the knockout. And so the big question now is, are you going to let my Calyrex survive? I think you have to target into it. And also seeing the Ice Beam is kind of nice, right? It suggests to me that you don't necessarily have good damage into my Gyarados, which is huge. The issue though, right, is you still have 2 Pokemon in the back. You're allowed to switch. I'm assuming one of them is Kartana. And so Kartana definitely can cause some issues. And I think what I might have to do, if it's Kartana, is I might have to switch out Gyarados as much as I don't want to, in order to try and get another Intimidate onto this Kartana. As we are going to see the Zacian come in. So Zacian is fine. I think, like I said, if we can set up the Trick Room, we are in fantastic shape. I do just want to go for the Geyser here, as well as the Trick Room. I think, like I said, if we're able to get it off, it is going to be huge. There is a potential chance of a double up into this Calyrex. We are also, important to remember, at -2 defense from the Leer. So we are going to take a potentially just huge chunk from this Behemoth Blade, from this Zacian. But I think if we can set up the Trick Room, we should be hopefully in a good position, right? We can start Pollen Puffing with our Calyrex as we go for damage with Zacian. So that can sort of really help us out. But a lot of things, like I said, will depend, as we are going to see the Behemoth Blade come out. Going up into this Gyarados. Gyarados, please live. Gyarados is not going to live. That's great. So the big question now is, can Calyrex survive the Ice Beam that's coming out? I'm really, if we do, that's huge. That's awesome, right? Because at this point, right, we have the Trick Room up. We can go for a Pollen Puff into their Kyogre to get the knockout. Or hopefully get the knockout, and then we can just put on pressure onto their Zacian with Behemoth Blade, so to try and win that way. So I think we did sort of set us up for a really good position. That Kyogre survival was huge. But yeah, they still have up Tailwind, so that can hopefully benefit us, as we will be able to, at least for now, hit first. And so that can help us. We can also recover a bunch of the damage using Pollen Puff. So I want to go for a Behemoth Blade here, as well as a Pollen Puff onto this Kyogre, just sort of trying to chip away at it and hopefully get the knockout with this Pollen Puff. I don't know anything about Calyrex's, like, base Calyrex's stats, so we'll see about that. I think this is a really good chance for damage. What would have been really nice here is if we were in Prison. I think in Prison would have been great. As we are going to see the Kyogre Protect, I think that that's totally fine. I think you are banking on Trick Room turn, or not Trick Room, Tailwind turns ending. So we are no bulk. Let's see how much this does. I'm hoping, let's see, very close. To the point, unfortunately, where I don't think we can get the knockout. We could see, yeah, I think that was smart actually to KO Calyrex, as now, right, we are staring down a 3v1 in Trick Room with Tailwind about to end, and really not much we can do here. We can go for probably a knockout onto this Zacian more than anything, but they do have the ability to protect. So yeah, they're also going to be able to attack twice. So I think a little bit of an unfortunate call on our end. I think if they had not protected Kyogre, right, we would have been in an awesome spot, right? We would have knocked out the Kyogre. I mean, it would have been a 2v1, so still not ideal. Yeah, I think the Leer was a big one, right? Like we would have been able to survive with Gyarados, and I think with Gyarados we would have just been overall in a very strong position. As yeah, they also still have Max, so they are going to be able to just fire off a very strong Max Geyser into my Zacian. So there's no way we're gonna live this double up. But I do, like I said, think the Leer kind of was what got them in that strong position, right? Because it let Zacian KO Gyarados, and I don't think that I really could have predicted that. But I think if Gyarados had survived, we would have just overall been in a very, very strong position. But I mean, it happens. Calyrex, unfortunately, not doing as much as I would have liked. But yeah, if we had been able to also KO their Kyogre with that Pollen Puff, we would have been in a strong position. So probably Mystic Water Ogre. I don't know the calcs super well for base Calyrex, but it is what it is, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Zerndon. It is Zerndon with Incineroar, Amoonguss, Blastoise, and Blacephalon. There's a lot happening here. Gastrodon feels amazing here. I definitely want Gastrodon. I think Regieleki, Gastrodon? No, I don't want to do that. Incin, Zacian, Gastrodon, Gyarados? What does Gyarados really do? Incin, Zacian. Let's do that. We do have the ability to pivot out into Gastrodon, which I think can be really huge with a Blastoise, so we can play around with some stuff. We also hopefully can get in a position where we can yawn the Xerneas, right? Like being able to put that to sleep is always nice, as we are going to see the Historic Genius, the mark that I want so badly on my Amoonguss. We are going to be able to bring out our Incin here, as well as Zacian. And so what I'm thinking right immediately is we pivot out into Gyarados. Do we want to pivot out into Gyarados? I'm going to go... Okay, so I'm going to go for a parting shot. I'm going to play aggressive and continue to not listen to Andy. Actually, no, that's a very bad idea. Yeah, let's go for a parting shot here and a protect. That way we can get around a potential... what's it called? A potential spore, as it looks like we are going to see that. We are going to see a Groudon just go for the protect here. So that's good to see, right? There just a full-on protect turn. We are going to see reveal the parting shot right onto this Groudon. So what I want to actually do is I want to go for a Flare Blitz as well as a Behemoth Blade onto this Amoonguss, just trying to get rid of it. We do have Gyarados in the back. we are potentially losing a very good answer into Xerneas, but I think it's fine, right? We do still have access to Gastrodon, which I think can be a big deal, but the Amoonguss letting the Xerneas set up, I think is going to be really huge. And also, if we survive a Precipice Blades, which we might, we can also just like pivot out, as unfortunately, yeah, the Amoonguss is going to survive. We're going to see the Precipice Blades come out. Both are going to live. That's actually a really big deal, right? As Flare Blitz going to come out onto this Amoonguss, get the knockout there. And so now, right, you are probably going to bring in Xerneas. And my thought process with that is you go for Protect with Xerneas. Oh, you're going to bring out Incineroar. So this is not what I expected. I want to double switch. Right, I have no reason to actually stay in with either of these. So I want to bring out... let's bring out Gastrodon and let's switch out into Gyarados. Right, my thought process here is we can start having Gyarados set up. I think Max Quake on Gyarados would be really nice. It just sort of is unfortunate. I do, though, want to get Gastrodon into a very favorable position, strictly because of the fact that I do want to be able to yawn the Xerneas. I think that if we can put on that pressure, that's going to be a really big deal, right? To say, hey, even if you get the Geomancy, all I have to do is go for a Protect and then, let you go to sleep, and then we can use Ashian just to get a free one-hit knockout. So, Gyarados, yeah, we're going to bring up Gyarados. I think Gyarados is probably going to be our main max option here. I'm fine going for the double switch. Just all things considered, I do think that yeah, we are going to see the fake out here. Good choice into the Incin. Precipice Blade's going to come out, right? Going to put some big damage out onto this Gastrodon. Not as much as I expected, so that's actually really good here. I do want to go for a Protect, and I think we can go for a Max Overgrowth onto Groudon. Just like I said, I do want to set up a condition where we can yawn the Xerneas to say, hey, even if you want to go for a Geomancy, right? Like, I don't really care because of the fact that I'm just going to put you to sleep, and there's nothing you can do about it. And also worth noting at this point, this Groudon is at -2 because of the double Intimidate. And so they probably want to switch out. They could stay in, right, if they have Stone Edge and go for the high critical hit chance, which is definitely something to worry about. But all things considered, I think it's fine, as we are just going to see the Gyarados max. I think that is pretty fine for us. The big fear, though, is if you have Taunt on Incineroar, right? Like Incineroar being able to stop the Gastrodon from setting up, from yawning, I think could really sort of swing things against us. But I think it should still be fine, as we are going to see just to protect from this Groudon. So that suggests to me probably a Parting Shot, as yeah, probably a Parting Shot into the Gyarados, which I think is totally fine. I do, like I said, that is pitiful damage. We should see a Parting Shot come out onto what's it called, my Gyarados. Yep. And then we should see Xerneas come out. I do definitely want to put this Xerneas to sleep, and then I also want to try and set up the rain. I think that will... Oh, I can't set up the rain because Gastrodon is out. So we are going to see... Oh, okay. I didn't know that you could enter restricted into the battle tree. That's cool. So I think we're fine here to go for what's it called? To go for a yawn. The leftovers is a little scary. It suggests to me that you might be let's do that. Let's go for an Overgrowth here. We could see a Protect come out from the Xerneas, which I think is fine. But I do, like I said, want to put it to sleep. The tricky part is going to be positioning correctly, as we are going to see Incineroar. So I think that this was actually really well played on their part, right? What they're saying is they're going to protect their Xerneas to stop any sort of incoming yawns and make it so. Oh, they just went straight for the Geomancy. So this is really good for me, right? We're going to be able to fire off this yawn here and make that Xerneas sleepy. So the important thing though is we do need to position it so Zacian can get the knockout. So we're gonna fire off this Overgrowth onto the Incineroar, right? I'm gonna make a really aggressive read, and I'm going to I don't know if I want to make an aggressive read, because what I'm thinking is switch out Gyarados into Zacian. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Earth Power here. Do you Dazzling Gleam? I'm gonna go for Protect. I'm gonna Rockfall the Ensign. Right, we are Assault Vest on Gyarados. So I want to say that we can live a hit, as we are going to see probably a Dazzling Gleam, right? We're going to see a straight Moonblast, which is fine, right? Like that Assault Vest really putting in work. We can fire off the Rockfall onto this Incineroar, just trying to do a really solid chunk of damage, as we probably are going to see a Parting Shot out. We do, though, need to start actually doing damage onto this Xerneas. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for a Waterfall and switch into Zacian. And so we can hope that on your mandatory turn of sleep, right, like we can get the... So it basically comes down to how many turns of sleep is this Xerneas going to take. So I think we're fine to... I think what we want to do is we want to switch into Zacian here, and then go for a Waterfall onto this Ensign, just because of the fact that right, we could see a Darkest Lariat. I think it'll just really depend on things, but everything is fairly low, unfortunately, for my team, so that is making things a little bit tricky. We are going to see the instant withdraw, which is a little bit unfortunate, right, into this into this Groudon. So you are going to change the weather, which is definitely unfortunate. We do want to, though, try and get out our Zacian. Like I said, I think we need to... it'll all really come down to turns of sleep, which is... It'll come down to turns of sleep and Precipice Blades misses, which is, like, not ideally the way to play Pokemon, but, like, sometimes that's just the way we play. Wow, that is a lot of damage. So yeah, so Xerneas is asleep. So Xerneas can wake up this turn. And like I said, I think this game 100% comes down to when is the Xerneas gonna wake up. So we can bring out Ensign here. And so yeah, it could be a bold... I mean, I think it's a bold move, but potentially maxing the Xerneas here and praying. So yeah, like I said, this turn 100% is going to come down to sleep turns. So if they wake up, right? If they wake up, we lose. If they stay asleep, we win. Perfect. You are going to stay asleep, and with what's it called? Yeah. So we should be able to easily pick up the knockout with the Behemoth Blade, and then I think a combination. It's still not over. Actually, okay, let's think about it, right? At this point, you are going to have a Groudon stuck at -2. Right? You are going to pick up the double knockout, but you're going to be stuck at -2. We do have a Gyarados, which can put on pressure. We do have the ability to start yawning things with Gastrodon. So feeling it's not 100% over. I think that is going to. I think it is bulk up Groudon. So that's something to definitely be wary of. But yeah, Gyarados. We have Gastrodon. I think we want to definitely go for a Stone Edge trying to KO this Incineroar, and then go for a yawn onto the onto the Groudon, and say, hey, even if you want to fake out, like I need to put on some pressure. We do have to be a little bit wary though of Rockfall on Groudon, but I think it's fine, right? I think Stone Edge and a yawn is sort of the ideal, right? So if we can Stone Edge here and then go for a yawn onto Groudon, I think that puts us sort of in the best position possible. What's nice though is Gyarados, right, like doesn't get affected by Precipice Blades. It is at -2, so that sort of really helps us, right? Like, yeah. So a lot of it will come down to this turn, I think, in terms of who targets what and where it goes. So a little bit unfortunate that, yeah. So we are going to definitely see the max here. I think the max was obvious. I think you have to fake out the Gastrodon, right, to sort of have any sort of chance of winning. So we are gonna see the max Groudon at -2, which still probably can do a significant chunk into Gyarados. I don't know quite how much bulk it has, but we are gonna see the fake out. It is gonna go into the Gastrodon. I think that definitely is the smart choice. We are gonna see the Rockfall unfortunately come out into the Gyarados. Gyarados is gonna live. So this actually is a really big deal if we hit the Stone Edge and get the knockout. We are not, unfortunately, going to get it. So, yeah, I think that sort of seals our fate. I think if we had KO'd the Incineroar, right, like we are now in a much better position. Not in a much better position, but we do have the ability to go for the yawn onto the Groudon. Whereas we didn't have that before, right? We could have gone for a Protect to sort of sponge a hit, then go for the yawn, and then your max is done. But now we have really no pressure. So yeah, that miss, yeah, I mean, we easily would have been fine, but just because of that miss. So I'm gonna chalk that one up to the miss. It definitely was unfortunate for sure. But that is just sort of the game we play. We are going to see a Darkest Lariat come out. I think that's fine, right? It's not 100% over. It pretty much is though, right? We are going to be able to fire off the yawn onto this Groudon. But yeah, the instant I think now can easily survive the what's it called, the Earth Power. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, we are going to have to take quite a bit of damage, as we are going to see the Quake come out. We don't have Recover, unfortunately, so really sort of, yeah, I mean, look at how much damage that did. We would have had the Darkest Lariat HP back, and we would have been able to just sort of start pressuring onto this Groudon and saying, hey, you have to go for Precipice Blades. I don't think it's 100% over, but it pretty much is. It just, like I said, it is unfortunate that we could have gone for the Waterfall. I guess I didn't know if they were gonna max the Groudon, so yeah, we would have had a bunch of HP back, and we would have been able to target down this Groudon, as Incin probably is going to be able to survive this Earth Power as a result of being at +2. So overall, I think this team has been a really fun time to use. I think Calyrex is just sort of really a great way to finish the month, right? We're playing not super seriously. We're just, having some fun with it. As yeah, this Earth Power, let's see how much it does. It is going to be Shuka too, so right, like I could have gone for the Waterfall as yeah, with the Shuka sort of leaving Incineroar where it is. We are definitely, unfortunately, not winning this. Definitely make sure to check out Andy, though. He always comes up with some very creative teams. Definitely make sure to check out the team itself. Also, make sure to subscribe so we can reach 1 billion subscribers. And with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.